there's a volume thingy control.
Volume control.
Yeah, so
Right
you
on
can
there.
left to go down, right to
turn
go up.
Got it.
All right.
Right, good. Okay.
All right, it is gone past 6 o'clock. I know how we told you we are going to have a conversation. This is going to be an interesting one. So, on our smooth drive conversations for today, we have got two guests in the studio with Ayo and myself, Sope and Martins. So, the first is Adenike Mogaji, who is a beauty educator and esthetician. She is an experienced marketing representative, administrator, social media moderator, and so on. Like the list goes on. I cannot kid you enough. Now, her love for skincare actually had her pursuing a career in beauty and aesthetics, and she is an alumnus of Beauty Therapy Institute, where she has actually gotten quite a few certifications. Now, Beauty Therapy Institute leads me to Sandy Fuhr. She's a qualified somatologist, and you know I'm going to be asking you about that in a second. And a beauty therapist with Cedesco International qualifications for 40 years.
Wow.
Sandy.
Wow.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
No. I'm very intrigued
Been a long
because
time.
that means that I need to be having a very, I need to know the skincare routine that you've got going on because that is awesome. 40 years.
It is 40 years.
I can't believe it. I refuse to believe it.
Unbelievable. too long.
Okay, so this is really interesting because shout out to Arabo, by the way, who was like, do you guys want to talk about this because it's so interesting. So we're talking about today, and it's something that we've wanted to talk about for a while because I want to actually discuss this, and that is skin bleaching.
Yes.
Hello, Nigeria. But not just Nigeria, because we talked about this thing with our Ghanaian brothers and sisters. We talked about it. You're from South Africa, Sandy,
Yes.
and I want to know what it's like over there when it comes to skin bleaching, and whether it is a huge thing over there, as huge as here in Nigeria.
So what's quite interesting about skin lightening or skin bleaching in South Africa is one of the main ingredients is banned in our country. It's an ingredient that your population is using plentifully to a dangerously high extent where it's causing some long-term skin damage. And that is where the concerns come in, because if you have to look at the effects of skin lightening products on the skin, particularly in a country like South Africa where you've got quite a large population of white skins, and then, well, the majority is black skin, but the dream or the passion for the white skinned person is to be brown, and the brown skinned person is to be lighter. So it's quite an interesting scenario that we're sitting in South Africa.
The irony of it all.
Yes. Why?
I'm somebody for whom
Why?
irony is a huge thing because what you have just said, it makes me think of Alanis Morissette because we have two very distinct, very booming industries. One focused on lightening skins, the other focused on making skin tan,
Yes.
browner. You know, they say, "Oh, mahogany, isn't that what you want?" People are like
Mahogany.
the people with the mahogany skin. I know that's not what we want. We want something, white wood, something along those lines. So it's very
Ebony,
interesting.
yeah, ivory or ebony.
Ebony, yeah, exactly. So ivory wants ebony, ebony wants
Wants
ivory.
ivory.
What a world we live in. So it's really interesting to me that we have like these, and I don't know, I just don't understand it, but that's what we have you here for. So, by the way, let me tell you this thing about Sandy. So, she opened the Beauty Therapy Institute in Cape Town in South Africa. This was back in 1996. And she has got credentials up the wazoo. Like, she's the past president of the South African Association of Health and Skincare Professionals, past president of Cedesco International in Switzerland, with over 10 years on the board. Need I go on,
Correct?
Sandy?
No,
I
that's
have to
more
say,
than enough.
That's
Thank
fine.
you.
that's quite a lot already.
It's a lot of work in there.
So
You
yeah,
had to fill 40 years.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah, a bountiful 40 years. Okay, so yeah, let's get into this conversation now. Um, obviously we know the history and kind of the origin seed of how we started to believe that perhaps we should go lighter with the skincare. But now that it really does feel to me like a full blown epidemic, and social media has been a huge game changer in this. I see Adenike nodding away because in your qualifications it says social media moderator. You have
Yeah.
seen, I mean, have you seen the videos where you'll see these people go into a room like brown, okay, black, and then they wash their skin and like the pigment falls away. And anytime I see that, I get it feels to me like a horror film.
Yeah. Yeah.
It actually feels
It's
like a
beyond.
horror film. I
It's
get
It's
traumatic.
goosebumps.
beyond
It's
that,
actually
So,
traumatic.
first of all, do you know what is that?
So there's a standard for beauty, especially in African country. Even when we check our adverts, the social media, everybody's light skin. So that is the standard everybody's looking out for. So
Mhm.
they will go the extra miles, ignoring the health risks in these procedures, yet they still go ahead because they want to be light skinned. They get more opportunities when they're light skinned.
Yeah, true.
They believe that when they're lighter, they're more beautiful. People then notice them. It's a mental thing.
So for me, like looking, obviously, Nigeria has become very big for entertainment, music, acting, and whatnot. And talking with a couple of dark-skinned people in the industry, they talked about the fact that how the headlining roles, the when it comes to movies and series, go
Yeah,
to the
they're
lighter-skinned
exactly,
actresses. Even in
exactly.
America, the
Right.
African Americans talk about wait, hold on, what is it? Not racism, colorism.
Exactly,
Colorism,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Colorism.
Yes,
colorism,
thank you
right.
for
Where
that.
the
Yes.
lighter skin are chosen, they're the first who gets the spotlight.
Yeah.
Even
So
amongst us, the blacks, there's that stigma. So it's so alarming. Now imagine Nigeria as a whole, where we don't even have any regulation, where
so
anybody can wake up one morning and
mm,
decide to be a skincare therapist without certification or qualification.
hmm
Yeah.
That is where the problem is. There is no checks and balance. There's nobody holding anyone accountable.
obviously, like we have regulators. Let's put that out there. Yeah.
But are they regulating
Did I
anything?
just see your eyes go
I'm
left and
rolling. I,
up?
I wish I could just
Did they
bring out
go?
my eyeballs and roll it.
Did they go all around the world?
Because really,
Oh my
because
gosh.
really, are you really
Really.
saying that?
We do.
We do, but do you see it?
Sometimes at work, not all the time, but I do sometimes see them, at work. However, I will say there is a proliferation of some very shady, do I want to use the word skincare? I don't think I do.
Yeah, this is.
Very shady,
Skin
wannabe
damaging.
skin. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Mm.
Skin damaging
Products.
Yeah,
Yeah,
products
yeah,
out there.
yeah, and it also boils down to the regulation. Who is selling? How come people can't sell? How come anyone can wake up one day and decide to be formulating skincare products in their sitting room?
Hmm. Now, Sandy, of course, when we were talking, because we're talking off air, and I was talking about how this is an epidemic in Nigeria, and Sandy said in Africa. So, Sandy, can you tell us a little bit about what you found in your 40 years in the biz, and what you found, what has alarmed you, and what kind of um, advances, is it not advances, or what kind of changes and shifts in perception of people's perception of skin and skin color that you found, let's say in recent years now?
Well, you can well imagine coming from a country like South Africa with the history
Yeah.
and the apartheid issues that we had all those years, and only coming up to 1994, where everything became equalized. There was an immense amount of difference and issues around the white, black communities of
Mhm.
people, where we weren't even allowed to live in the same areas, ride on the same vehicles, etc. So coming over the years, all through those since 1994, things have changed markedly in South Africa. But what we did at BTI, which is the Beauty Therapy Institute College, is we've launched into Africa because what was happening is the African community wanted to uplift themselves into the beauty industry, and they wanted to become beauty therapists or somatologists, the higher level of the beauty therapist. So they had to leave Nigeria, they had to leave countries in Africa to come down to South Africa in order to get their qualifications. And I thought, no, 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 there's something really wrong with this, which is why we opened up here in Nigeria. We opened up in Ghana, in Kenya, in Namibia, and we're opening up as well in Botswana. So for us, it's about taking proper quality education into Africa so that there is this education for the therapist or the young lay, mostly women, but there are guys as well which are entering into our industry. But to give them this education so that they know and they can read the back of a package. They can take up a product, they can see which ingredients are inside that product and know, well, hang on, this is good, this is quality, this is something I should be recommending to my clients. And that.
Okay, so Sandy, I'm going to put a pause in it because we've got to take a break. But when we come back from the break, we'll continue this conversation.
Okay.
All right, people, stick with us. And then we see your messages coming in on WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. We'll be back to read them. This one is a really interesting one from one of our listeners who talks about, well, this is what he says. Do we have time? Take off the top cement you took delivery of. Inside the bag? Yes. My father is rewarding all your customers in the Lafarge buy and win promo. It's happening from the 10th of April to the 15th of May 2023. I think it will come up in a second. If you find the Lafarge scratch card inside the bag, scratch the card. If you find stop it there, you know what? You put it inside the spot box. So stop. Oh, okay. No, the arrow.
Which one?
Yeah. You put inside the spot block, so
that's what I did.
stop there.
Oh.
Puts it for everything in the spot block.
Lafarge, building progress.
That was from Friday. That was from Friday. Film focus.
Oh, you're using business what?
What's this? Jesus.
Oh, business. Okay. If that's a business, I was like, what? All right. All right, here we are back on Smooth Drive Conversations with Sandy Fuhr and Adenike Mogaji. So, Sandy, we're talking about kind of the things that you had seen in the skincare industry over the past few years. Africans trying to make sure that beauty therapists can know what goes into the ingredients that go into different skincare. Now, can we bring it down to people like me and maybe Ayo? I don't know what he uses. Maybe just rubs share butter on his face.
I keep it simple. I keep it very simple.
But people
That's
like me, because I have been known to get my skincare, get a lot of it. What should we be looking at when it comes to substances that we shouldn't be putting on our faces or any other parts of our body?
Okay, so particularly for skin lightening, you should look not to have hydroquinone.
Ooh.
Okay, this is a very well-known one, and that is exceptionally dangerous for the skin, particularly used when 2 to 3 times a day and over extensive periods of time. You shouldn't have ingredients like mercury.
Oh yeah,
Mercury, exactly.
I'm sorry. Okay,
People
does
put mercury
mercury
in their
have
bodies.
another name? Because I
40.
don't understand.
You would see it on the back of the
It
packaging.
actually just says mercury,
It would say mercury. You
and
would
people
see-
buy that.
Yeah.
But they ignorantly.
They don't know what it is really.
Mercury.
Yeah, they don't.
The same
Most people
mercury that people tell you not to eat fish because of mercury.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm listening.
And what about corticosteroids? If there are
Okay.
ingredients like that, you need to be very careful. Yeah, those are the most important ones to look out for when
Oh.
you're looking at the back of your packaging.
Okay, now going to hydroquinone, because I've had a conversation with someone about this, and they were talking about someone in the business, and they said, "Oh, I want to recommend hydroquinone," and I said, "I just want to immediately know hydroquinone for me equals skin bleaching."
Yes.
So no thank you. And this person said, actually no, I mean, yes, it does have skin lightening effects, but it has been abused, and so its name has become synonymous with skin bleaching. But when used carefully and appropriately and in manageable
Okay, so the truth is, hydroquinone is a prescription drug. It's just like taking your normal oral drug for a particular period of time, then you stop usage. The abuse comes when you use it for a prolonged time. So normally, you're to use your hydroquinone probably 3 weeks or a month max. Then you're supposed to stop using. Hydroquinone is there for depigmenting.
Mm.
We have hyperpigmentation. We live under the sun.
Yes.
So we have hyperpigmentation. It's a skin condition. So hydroquinone will help for that period, the 3 weeks, the dosage time. It will help to heal your hyperpigmentation, and then you stop usage. However, our formulators would use higher percentage for a longer time.
Mm.
You see where they're
Wait, the formulators, that means
the
those,
so-called formulators.
so these a higher percentage
Yeah, there's a particular percentage that can be used.
that is allowed.
That is safe.
Okay.
To use, but they use higher unsafe. Then they use it for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
Without sun protection.
That's very important. Is the sun protection as well.
Thank you.
I mean, that is-
Anybody who knows me knows
You live on sun protection.
You don't
I,
with your
I don't play with my
She doesn't joke
sunscreen.
with that.
Oh no, I'm rubbing it constantly. So yeah, can we talk about sun protection? Because I feel like you mentioned something and something really key, Adenike, which is the sun that we are under. Now, I know that when I came to this country, in fact, many people have pointed this out to me, I was many shades lighter. And then I met Nigeria's sun again. And
Not for the faint-hearted.
it turned me into a completely different person. And so I'm one thing I noticed was, okay, I realized I had been playing with the sun because I didn't use any sun protection, because I was under the impression that, hello, I have enough sun protection. Hello, melanin.
Yeah.
But then I went to a dermatologist who put me under the I don't know, face scanner or whatever that thing is, and I saw my skin up close and personal. She was like, "See all of that? That's sun damage."
Yep.
Yes. And so I became an acolyte of the sunscreen order.
Movement.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's talk about that, and whether or not that is goes some way into kind of into this particular conversation that we're having. So how does it fit into the conversation, Sandy?
So I think every single person should be using sun protection, regardless of your skin color, and of you can be using something up to the strength of 50 SPF, which means that you can be in the sun 50 times longer than you usually would without pigmenting. So this is something very important for you to look into when you are purchasing your sun protection product, that you're using something that is best suited for your skin and for the condition. You know, if you're going to be doing a walk out somewhere for the next 1 hour, is that going to be suitable enough for you? Is it going to be sufficient? Or is it something where you're going to need to reapply and reapply consistently throughout the day? Some people think they can put it on in the morning and that's it for the day. That I'm done with my sun protection and I'm good to go. But that's not really the way it is. Everybody needs to be monitoring their sun protection. You should carry your sun protection in your handbag or in your back pocket. Put some in your car. It shouldn't be in the car in this weather. I mean, the unbelievable heat out there.
Oh,
But yeah, I think
aside the application of sunscreen, you should always wear clothing that hide your skin. You should always have your hat on, long sleeve. You know, your black has some sort of SPF in it as well.
Yes.
the
So it's protecting.
dermatologist told me that a long sleeve top is
Yeah.
at 300 SPF compared to putting on a sun
Oh,
cream.
wow.
So we should all be walking around with sleeves on.
So you know what I
very
do?
good suggestion.
You know what I do?
Adenike.
Because it is hot. I cannot be like Adenike. I don't know how she does it. Adenike came in like a black Avenger.
Oh,
She
yeah.
is head to toe in
In
black, like long sleeves and everything. I can't do that because for me, black traps heat, you know?
No.
So, yes,
Okay.
first of all, wear other colors. But second of all, if you're in the car, what I do, this is my life hack, people, or my sun hack. I have a pashmina. I have a couple of pashminas, just drape it over my body when I'm driving. So it's like a duvet for my hands as I
For my
grab
hands.
the steering wheel, and I navigate the streets with my scarf over my arms. That's one way of doing it if you don't want to be a ninja.
That was brave. I just want to add to this talk about sunscreen. Shopper, you know we talked about this before at some point. And I remember somebody sent a message saying if you're indoors, you don't need to apply sunscreen. I mean, you're in the sun, so what's the point
My
of doing that?
brother asked that question.
Yeah. So, do we need to apply sunscreen even if we're inside the house,
Oh
we're in
yes,
our
oh
rooms, we're in the
yes,
kitchen,
we
and whatnot?
do. The UV rays penetrate the glass. So yes,
There
you
we
should
are.
wear your SPF indoors. Well, you can be lazy about it, but I would advise you to wear your SPF indoor.
I fully committed to the vampire life here. Windows, curtains are closed, SPF is on, no sun is coming my way.
I just feel sun protection should just be a lifestyle. It shouldn't be a job. Don't
Good
say that
point.
it's job. Just you're
It should
applying
just
it.
it should
Just
come naturally,
Yeah.
as if you're applying your regular
Exactly.
moisturizer
Yeah.
and so on.
Yeah. All right, so we got this message. Ikedia from Ikedia says, South. Okay, so this is a pretty long one. South African black people are naturally fair in complexion and are not too keen on bleaching their skin. Perhaps it's the Indian community in South Africa. He goes on to say, you should see the horror movie Bad Hair. It was about artificial hair extensions. Someone should do one on bleaching. He goes on to say, this is a very interesting part of the message. He goes back in history and says British men and women of the Elizabethan and the Tudor era were obsessed with fair skin. They applied the metal lead to their faces to appear fair and pale. Well, and I'm going to add, and poisoned.
Lead.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
scary.
Yeah, that's the
That's-
message from Ikedia.
It's so scary. So
So
scary.
yes, he has a point because further south the skin is not as pigmented, but definitely pigmented enough to consider the cautions that we have to put out there with products like hydroquinone. That is why it's been so important for the medical fraternity in South Africa to ban it. It's a really
Wow.
important product to be very cautious of.
So, is this something that you think also in Nigeria should be banned? And what steps have been taken, if any, in trying to get it on the banned substance
I think
list?
Sandy coming to Nigeria is a step because one, we're educating people.
Mm.
We're educating people to get certifications so they understand the skin. So well, if they understand the skin, they can also teach their clients. They also teach the client who to look out for, what to look out for, and you don't just leave your skin for any random person.
Mm.
So you should look out for certifications, qualifications. With that on ground, I think it will come a long way.
Okay. So we've got to take a quick break, but when we get back, we have a question from a man, and I'll give you the break time to ponder it and come back with an answer. Because this man says, Yoruba 100 says, what is the best way to take care of your skin in Nigeria as a man?
Specifically.
Yes. On the other
Good.
side of this break, Ayo, you'll be listening for this one.
Oh yes, I will.
98.1.
Moisturizer, and I'm good to go for the day.
Nice
Does it have
topic.
SPF in it at all?
We could
Say what?
talk about 3 hours on this.
Yeah, we can go on and on and on.
Okay, so we've got about 5 minutes when we come back. So you can answer the question and then I think kind of go into anything that you want us to round up on. Yeah, because anything that we haven't touched, well, so many things that we haven't touched on. But anything in particular for this conversation that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
risk, the health risk.
Oh yeah, health risk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Good
we
one.
need to let them know. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
Good? Ready? Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's the smooth conversations. And man, it's been quite an enlightening one this evening. And no pun intended on that when I said enlightening. We've been talking about skin bleaching and the effects, the issues there, what we need to do as people, for to take care of our skins more or less. Sandy Fair is here and she's been talking to us about that. We've also gone through a lot of things. And there was a question before the break, and it was about the best way to take care of our skin as Nigerians, as men
As men.
specifically. You have to
Well,
add that caveat.
let's start at the most important point, that is how to cleanse your skin. You have to cleanse your skin. I've got two men in the studio looking at me. Twice a day. Twice a day. And that doesn't mean with a bar of soap. It needs to be with a pH balanced product, which means it's something that's a little bit acidic for the skin, because yes, our skins are acidic. So we need to comply with those types of products. So start with cleansing properly. The second most important thing for you to do is to exfoliate your skin. So I'm not saying skin lightening, but it does have a lightening effect on your skin, is to exfoliate your skin 2 to 3 times a week. And that you can use a little granular product, you can use something that's you can use on your hands, that is a material type of product. You can use something that is enzymatic, you can use something that you have to almost roll off the skin. But for guys, the best version is the one with the little granular products inside. And you 2 to 3 times a week, maybe in the shower, in the evening, exfoliate your skin slightly. Lightly should be the word I'm using, not slightly. Lightly exfoliate your skin. Don't go in there and scrub every little bit of your skin off. And take it down your neck and take it down your chest as well. And do use it on the backs of your hands. So don't be shy as to where you use your exfoliator. And then day cream, day cream, day cream, day cream in the mornings with your SPF on top, or get yourself a day cream which has an SPF inside it. Go big, guys. Protect your skins at all turns.
Ayo, what's your skincare routine?
Like I said, I keep it simple. I
Mm.
moisturize in the morning. And the funny thing is, I actually do have SPF. In fact, my sister, who
Is it expired?
no, it's not. Who is actually in Johannesburg as well? She came back a couple of weeks ago and she brought me another this SPF. It's kind of like it's not the lotion where you can like rub on your face.
Oh, like the sunstick.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay, okay.
that
Yeah.
exactly. She brought that as well. It's still in my wardrobe right now.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
But
Ayo.
tonight he's going to go home and take it out
Yeah,
of his wardrobe.
yeah.
I don't know what
My
to
eyes
say
are
to you.
open. I'm more enlightened. I was in the dark before. Now I am in the light, people.
Yay. Okay, so we don't have too much. We've got a couple of minutes left. So, one thing we wanted to, we cannot end this conversation without, is talking about the health impact of skin bleaching. People want to call it toning hair in Nigeria. It's skin bleaching.
It's just
Yeah,
outright
let's like
bleaching.
put it in its most raw form. Not skin lightening.
That's what it
not
is.
toning.
Bleaching.
Not fairing.
No,
fair
no,
and
no.
lightening.
What they
Skin
sell now
bleaching.
is organic.
Oh, not organic.
Everybody does that. Everybody's organic
Well,
soaps and
It might
creams
be
and whatnot.
organic, but it is skin bleaching organic,
Exactly.
and that's not good.
Yeah.
So health impacts.
So there's a lot of side effects to using hydroquinone, abusing hydroquinone and other ingredients. First, you can have your kidney and liver damage because you belabor your kidney. You're making it work extra to reduce toxic stuff in your system. Also, you have the effect of sorry.
Things like acne, scarring as well,
Mm.
stretch marks. These things can happen from using products like this, right?
Excuse me? Acne from these products?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what
Wow.
you called steroid induced acne.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh, from the what was it? Cortisoids, right?
Corticosteroids.
Oh,
Yes.
corticosteroids.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So when you've used it to a level, it would work initially, but
Hmm.
then your skin gets addicted to it. So the moment you stop using it,
Ah,
it comes back more. You had acne initially,
Mm.
you used it, it took care of it. Now your skin is addicted to it.
withdrawal syndrome.
So it's exactly. So it's a withdrawal syndrome. So, but it's not good. You're not supposed to use it for that long. It's a prescription as well. You're supposed to use it for a period of time.
Yeah.
Then you've overstretched the period.
Mm.
The skin loves it,
Oh yeah.
and then you stop it.
This is basically drugs for your skin.
Exactly.
Right.
In a
Oh
nutshell.
no. We don't want that. No meth for skin, please.
Exactly.
So now the next thing I wanted to ask is does anything go on the inside? First of all, a lot of people forget that the skin is like our major organ.
Your biggest
It's
organ.
our
Biggest
biggest
organ.
organ. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for. Our biggest organ. Does anything happen to any of the other organs, or is it just the skin?
Well, eventually eventually something will happen. That is where the liver damage comes in,
Mm.
right? So you're telling your melanin to stop working. You're inhibiting melanin by using those bleaching products. Therefore, you have nothing protecting your skin. Melanin is there to protect your skin.
Mm.
Now, when you take that off, exposing your internal organ as well to environmental
Oh,
factors,
wow.
free radicals. There is really nothing protecting your skin from skin cancer.
Oh, and
Hmm.
just to confirm, no amount of no amount of supplements is going to fix that, right?
No,
Oh, just check. You know, because
no,
you said free
no.
radicals, and you hear all the supplements
Oh
saying,
no.
antioxidants, they
That's
can protect against free radicals.
that's part of the old fraudulence they're doing
Okay.
now. So they just make you feel like, oh, you're taking care of yourself from the inside, so it's safe. But it is not. When you don't have your melanin protecting you, what is protecting you then?
Oh, okay. So we've got a couple more people. This conversation is supposed to be ending now.
Yeah, but these are very like pertinent questions.
Okay. This one in from Cisco Delgado, who says, I don't use body cream, but my skin looks smooth, like Smooth FM.
Nice.
The secret is very simple: eating fruit and vegetables,
Mm.
no smoking, no alcohol, and finally, good exercise.
Uh-huh.
There is applause in the
I
studio.
like that.
And Timilade from Apapa says, what do you think about the laser procedure to remove skin tags and keloids? Does that have
No,
what
there's
is it?
really no effect about it. It's safe.
Okay. All right, there you go, people. Thank you very much.
If you're doing it at the right place by a certified,
Very important to add
Somebody
by
that.
is
a very
qualified, correct.
certified.
Don't just go to a
esthetician or
dark room next door
dermatologist.
because somebody
Don't
says,
just,
"Oh, I do
yeah,
laser removal here."
exactly. So just get the right place with qualification, ask the right questions, and then you're good.
Okay, now speaking about qualifications, I know that Sandy is in Nigeria and that you're going to be running a series of workshops. So can you tell people where to find you online so that they can get information for that?
So you can look, our website is www.beautytherapyinstitute.com, and you'll be able to then find the Lagos College, as well as I mentioned earlier, we are in Abuja as well as in Port Harcourt. So you'll be able to find the college there and the aesthetics clinic.
Yeah, you can also check the aesthetic clinic on Instagram at BTI Beauty Therapy Institute Lagos on Instagram and Facebook. For any information you need, would always reply you.
Okay, and that is that. See, we see the messages coming in. Who's this person? Chizaram from
Chizaram, yeah.
Apapa. We will get back to you on some recommendations once we go off air because we've got to take it back into the music, and then we've got the news coming up, and then 7 p.m. it is going to be total football. So once again, let's tell you who we've been talking to because you need to know where all of this fantastic information came from. So first of all, big thank you to Sandy Fur, who is a beauty therapist and qualified somatologist and beauty therapist with Sedesco International qualifications, who opened up the Beauty Therapy Institute in Cape Town back in 1996 and has, as you've heard from the conversation, opened up tons of institutes across Africa and is also very passionate about enlightening people and raising their awareness of just what skin bleaching does. And of course, Adenike Mogaji, who's a beauty educator and esthetician, and if you go on social media, apparently social media moderator du jour. And yeah, thank you both so much for joining us, and looking forward to better skincare here in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
All right, and thank you all for sending in your messages. Chizaram will be back with recommendations. All right, keep it tuned and keep listening. This is Smooth 98.1.